again. This is part 2 from the Tabernacle of David Prophetic Dance Center in Jerusalem. I realized as I listened to the last message there needed to be a part 2. I wasn't specific in certain things and it was a little bit disjointed. I was talking about the breakdown in the Messianic body in the land of Israel right now because of the green passport, which you carry to show that you have had the jab, and many of us have not and will not take that, as some of us say, the poison into our bodies. This is our free will. God has given us free will, and He will never take that away from us. We were meant to be living, active, courageous human beings with one-of-a-kind hearts, and we're not robots. So I was saying that some of the congregations have chosen to meet outside so that they're not, because the green passport applies to houses of worship, buildings. So some of the congregations are meeting outside so that no one is discriminated against, but others, such as my own, are not meeting in the parks, they're meeting in the building, and for right now, the green passport is not relevant until there are 50 people. But there's been a breakdown, I'd say not only in my own personal experience, but I think all throughout the land. This thing is really dividing us, and I was saying how the demonic agenda that's going on in the world is dividing even the houses of worship, which is absolutely horrific. You know, when governments are set into place and we're called to be under the leadership of a government, but if it's pagan and the government should ask us to do something that is against our values in God, we are not to do it. And I feel that once we allow the government to come into our houses of worship and tell us how to worship, when to worship, when we can, when we can't, what it looks like, I feel at that point we're partnering with the world. Because once we let that door open for them to dictate to us what our worship looks like, it's all gone to pot from there. That's my opinion. We have to take a stand. We are called to worship. That is our first responsibility before God. We were made for worship, and worship changes everything. So this is a part 2 to my part 1, because I realized it was vague in some places and I wanted to be more specific. So God bless you from the city of the great King. Stand strong in Yeshua's name. Amen.